Welcome everyone and welcome our special guest, Sasha Lopez.
Hi, thank you. Well, my name is Sasha Lopez. I'm a reporter and I'm actually feeling really honored to be here to be your special guest of tonight and kind of getting a topic and that's actually really interesting. And well, yeah, thank you for your warm welcome.
Today we're looking at a powerful chapter in history, apartheid in South Africa. Apartheid was a system that separated people by race and took rights away from black South Africans. Imagine living in a place where your skin color decided where you could live, work, and even who you could be friends with. One of the most famous people who fought against apartheid was Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in prison for standing up for equality, becoming a global symbol of courage and hope. Mandela's story and the fight against apartheid changed South Africa and inspired the world. Stay tuned as we dive into this important topic. To help us dive deeper into this story, we have our reporter Sasha Lopez. Let's hear what you uncovered.
Yeah, well, that introduction that you gave that actually get us deep in the topic we're going to talk tonight about, and it's the apartheid. So the topic is actually a extensive topic that have like a lot of details, small, bigger details, like a lot, and it's actually kind of hard to get them all in something. But tonight we're trying to do that, right? Tonight we're trying to explain it and the things that happened during this age. So, to begin, let's say that the apartheid was a system of institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination that was implemented in South Africa from 1948 to 1994. And it was designed to maintain the dominance of the white minority over the black majority. Because when we think about South Africa, we think mostly of the time black people, but there are also white people. So these white people in that time, they think they were superior race to the black people, and they want like to be the measure of them, to be like in a higher place and then like in a poorly place, you know. So this enforces strict racial divisions in all aspects of life. Under the apartheid, the South Africans were divided in races. So first we have the white ones, the black ones, the Indians, and also the color that were like the mixed races. One example of the apartheid policies was the Group Areas Act, which forced non-white South Africans to live in designated areas, often in overcrowded townships. Also, another fact that like fit in here is that they obligate the families to move on from their houses to another places, and most of the time to places that didn't have the adequate facilities to live, to have a family there, to raise your family, or something like that. So, something like that happens in the famous district of Sophiatown in Johannesburg. Once a vibrant black community was demolished in the 1950s, and the residents were translated to Soweto, a township with inadequate facilities. Do you imagine like living in your own house? Well, living there normal, maybe you're making breakfast, lunch, something like that. You were getting along very well with your community, with your friends, your family, whatever. And then a random person come and says you get out. Get out, this is not your house anymore. Get out. And they drag you to another place, to another towns that were far from the city centers, where in the city center you can find the food, the clothes you even wear, but they were so far. They were like they were there. They were like forgotten people, something like that. Also, the black South Africans were obligated to carry passbook, or how they called it, dompas, all of the time. If you were trying to to travel from a city to another city, and you were a black South African, you need to have a dompas, and they all say you check me the passbook, and you showed it, and in the passbook they show where you could travel to. Imagine, let's invent. Tito is the town where you live, and you want to travel to Lalo, that is another town. So you go from Tito to Lalo, and in Lalo they tell you to show your passbook. You show it, and they say you cannot go to Lalo because you're black, South African, and maybe in Lalo the most abundant people are white. So you can't go there because in your passbook says that you can't. It basically like put frontier lines to them. They prevent them to go through wherever they wanted to go. When that person was caught without that passbook, they get arrested and put in jail. Another point during the apartheid was the education. The education was unequal. And this actually most of the people know because it's actually really common or was common. Because the white people thought that the best education, the higher level of education, needed to be for their white children, and the middle level of education need to be for the black people. They separate the kids into black kids and into white kids, and that defined like the education they will receive. Also, the school for black students were underfunded, and the curriculum was designed to prepare them for low-paying jobs. Like, you were there from the school, and your curriculum maybe was for being the chief of a small shop, maybe a shop of crops, food, clothes, something like that. Not that bigger, maybe not an engineer, but something bigger, like to run a company, a hospital, something like that. That were higher curriculums. And well, yeah, this oppressive system led to widespread suffering and resistance, laying the groundwork for the anti-apartheid system, liderated by bigger persons like Nelson Mandela, who dedicated their lives to fighting for justice and equality.
That really helped us understand how difficult life was for people under apartheid. It's powerful to think about the courage it took to stand up against such unfair rules. But there was an important person in this case, Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela's efforts in the fight against apartheid were remarkable, characterized by unwavering commitment, personal sacrifices, and strategic actions over decades.
Well, yeah, as you said, actually, Nelson Mandela was an incredible person, and I think I actually admire Nelson Mandela a lot because I think you need like a lot of courage, like be a brave person to do the things that he did is actually impressive. Like my only word to describe that is like wow, because it's actually so impressive. And like you say, he did personal sacrifices and strategic actions over decades. Yeah, some of the force that he did was the early activism, and Mandela believed that the struggle for equality required direct action and organizing the black community, because I think it was not easy like to handle like a whole community in unison, to be all together, to gather them all in our only group to fight for the good things, so the oppressive apartheid laws imposed by the white government. The government was a white government, and that was the reason that why they applied the apartheid laws. Because, well, yeah, like we talked before, like, they think they were superior race, they didn't want the black ones, they despise them, Ugly. Another thing was that the fiance campaign, and the other one was his supposedly vacations and travels abroad, but this wasn't like actually vacations, like, oh, I'm gonna take like a holiday for me, get relaxed and all that kind of stuff. No, he was actually doing for it good, because he traveled to other countries, places, and seeking for advices, for new ideas to put to the communities, to make it bigger, the protest, to be like a stronger community, In 1962, Mandela was arrested for leaving the country illegally and sitting strikes, and he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. But that was only a part of the time he was in prison, because Mandela spent 27 years in prison, and his imprisonment became a global symbol of the fight against apartheid. He was released in 1990, and his ability to advocate for peace and reconciliation despite personal suffering demonstrated the leadership that he had, that helped South Africa transition to a multiracial democracy. Basically, he improved this sector. Mandela's role was crucial in this time, because he was a symbol of resilience and equality and unity. He take this part and take this another part and get it together. So he actually did an amazing work, and I actually bravest and courageous work, and it's dignified to admire.
Thank you, Sasha, for helping us understand this important topic. Nelson Mandela and so many others show us the power of standing up for what's right, even when it's difficult. Apartheid was a dark time, but the bravery of those who fought against it changed South Africa and the world. Thank you to our viewers for joining us today. Let's carry forward the lesson from this story, the importance of justice, equality, and standing up for each other. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and remember that each of us has the power to make a difference. See you soon!